Hey Sujay, guess what? I emailed Microsoft yesterday about Hack Illinois.
Wait, I just did that 2 minutes ago. Wait, let me check.
Man, look at how cluttered that screen is. If only there was a better way. Well, the good news for Sujay is that now there is. Presenting Email CRM. Email CRM, the best organizational tool in the world. So here we have a new user that we want to register. So we go to the new user flow, type in John Doe. John Doe creates his username, he gives us an email and password, and then he's in. Great. So now we're taken to his organization dashboard, but he has nothing here. So let's log out. We're going to sign in with an existing user that we've already created. His name's Sujay. So once Sujay logs in, he's taken to his organizations. And Sujay is very active on campus. We can see that he has iBhangra and ACM here. He wants to create a new organization called IEEE, so let's help him create that. Great, IEEE is created. Now, Sujay is very involved in ACM, and ACM has an event coming up this week, so let's click on ACM. Great, so this is our organization page. So each organization holds events and also has contacts. We can see the different members that are part of each organization. Right now, ACM has 4 different members. Let's add John to ACM. Great, now we can see that John's a new member of ACM. Now we want to see all of the contacts that this organization has. So what we can do is we can see that there's 2 contacts here. Let's create a new contact. Sujay met someone at a career fair last week who was very involved in sponsoring ACM. So he's going to add her to the organization's contacts. Her name was Marissa and she works at Microsoft. Cool. Sujay also recently found out that one of his organization's contacts switched jobs, so he needs to update that information. Great. We can see that that information is now updated. Sujay also wants to create a new event called Reflections Projections, which ACM is hosting in a couple of months. So you can click on the new event page and create the new event. And inside this, he can create an email template that he'll use when emailing his organization's contacts about this new event. Great, so we can see that it's been added. Now he wants to invite some of his contacts to Reflections Projections. So he clicks on Add, and then he can select the contacts from his organization who he wants to invite. So let's say he wants to invite Sunny. Now we can see that Sunny's here, and we can see his information. We can also view his information and get more notes about him. So let's click on Sunny and email him. As you can see, we're taken to the email template view, and all of this information was dynamically loaded in from our email template, which we created when we created the event. Great, so let's customize this email and then send it to Sunny. Perfect. Now we can see that Sunny's been sent an invite to Reflections Projections. So now let's go back. Sujay's work is done in ACM, and he wants to leave the organization.
After completing the application, we decided to give it to some of our friends, and they gave us some valuable feedback. We compared this with Nielsen's usability heuristics and came up with some ways to improve the system. First, we decided to show a spinner at the registration and submitting email page. This allowed the user to be able to see the system status. We also decided to use the idea of recognition over recall. We colored some of our buttons so that way it was clear as to whether or not a user was proceeding with an action or doing something serious like deleting an action. We also decided to look at this in terms of aesthetic design, by only including features that we actually needed and making sure that we remain minimalistic in every other possible sense. We also aimed for consistency by having many of our pages look the same. For example, the organization page, the events page, and the single event page all have consistent organization. And finally, we decided to be efficient about how the user would navigate through the interface by putting in modals as opposed to whole other pages for example, adding new users. This way, we didn't have to put the user through more pages and more hoops to jump through, and it optimized the space and reduced the amount of white space on the page. And this is why Email CRM is the best organizational tool on the planet.